Hi everybody, real quick update for you. I got my Patreon page up and working, and I'll have the link in the description below because I figured out how to get that one link typed in properly. So anyway, you'll be able to find Patricia Norwood's Hobbies and Reborns on Patreon, and I have a 3-tier system set up so that you can be a patron, and it's like $3 to $25, depending on which of the tiers that you're going to get. And I have benefits to each one of them. And I will be posting videos there later, as well as more of my picks. I've already got these two. This one's finished, Patrick's caricature. And this one that's got a little more work to be done. It's called On Golden Pond, after a favorite novel that ended up becoming a movie when I was a child. So, that's what I've been working on really hard today. Got that set up, and everything is just really looking good now. I might actually begin to sell some paintings because I have put the pricing of my paintings in a posting, and it's depending on the size, because I do paintings from like a postcard size, 5x7, 3x5, 5x7, something like that, all the way up to, I think my biggest ones are 18x20. And so it ranges from like $25 up to $100 on the paintings that I've been doing. And I don't have very many of the very largest ones. But the larger of the canvas boards is, let's see, these are 11x14, and I think there may be one larger size than this, so it gives you a range of sizes. And Patrick's going to be pulling an overnighter on Thanksgiving, so instead of doing a turkey this year, we're going to have a small lasagna split between the two of us before he goes in for work. And so I'm not doing a real big feast this year like I normally do. We're not going to have anybody over, and it just seems kind of ridiculous for me to go all out on a feast that's just the two of us. But we will probably have a pie for dessert. He's going to fix the pie. He's in the mood to be baking pies now. Usually he does cheesecake for dessert, but he got kind of burnt out on cheesecakes for some reason, and decided he wanted to do pies. And so that's good. I mean, I used to do a lot of baking before Patrick and I got together. In fact, I did a little bit during the time that we were dating. But I used to do a lot of baking. I baked cookies and pies and occasionally cakes and a lot of bread. And different kinds of breads. I love baking breads. That's one of my favorite things to do. And when I was in my 20s, when I would cook for like an army of people. And it took me a very long time to be able to learn to cook for just 2 people. Or 1. Because I was so used to cooking for, my first husband and I had a lot of people over. His family and friends and like that. But later on, I had my Grove, and I would have 15, 20 people over for a meal sometimes. So it took a very long time before I learned how to cook for just the two of us. For two of us. And so now, a lot of times I don't want to be bothered with making a really big meal. So it's just like meat and maybe potatoes on the side. But I had been doing, at the holidays, a big meal. And this year we're just not into a big meal. So we're doing lasagna and some King's Hawaiian rolls, which I love. King's Hawaiian bread. It's so sweet. It's so light and just my favorite to go out and buy bread is King's Hawaiian. So yeah, so we're having King's Hawaiian rolls to go with the lasagna, and then we'll have I think it's going to be an apple pie and a walnut strudel type bread thing to go with as well for dessert. So, you know, that's a pretty good meal for us for Thanksgiving. And this month we're doing as much as we can get done this month, because next month is going to be a very tight month with, well, not for Patrick so much as for me, because I will be mailing Kaylee her doll, which those of you who got to see it before I pulled it know how pretty that one turned out. For a first doll, I did really good on Kaylee's doll. I was really proud of myself, but I did have a lot of problems with painting the hair, and I know that the next time I paint hair, I'm going to have to be much, much better at just working with that very fine detail brush and not making the paint too thick. So that was as far as I was concerned, my biggest mistake in that doll had to have been the way the hair was painted, because it didn't look like either hair or scales. And I finally, you know, I was trying to get the impression of dragon scales, since it was a baby that was supposed to be both changeling. It goes back and forth between dragon and human. So, yeah. But expect more. If this channel survives past December, expect a lot more of my Reborn Doll type videos and paintings and that sort of thing. I'm really hoping that I don't get taken out by YouTube's little sweep that they're going to do, where they're going to take anybody that's not commercially viable out. Because I'm just starting out, and I've been growing slowly but surely, and I've got over 100 people now, and I'm really, really glad for all of you. So yeah, I'm hoping that this, you know, newbie channel actually does survive past December. And come January, when all the COPPA stuff comes into effect on YouTube, hopefully YouTube will manage to come up with a way to keep us family-friendly, mixed audience channels up and running without and monetized without being afoul of COPPA. One of the things that YouTube changed in its terms of service, and I don't know if a lot of you actually read it, was that YouTube inserted a line in the terms of service that said we were legally responsible for our content. And that was how YouTube managed to wash their hands of the whole thing and put everything over onto us. Now, I don't like the fact that YouTube is demonetizing so many of us and everything. because we put a lot of work, a lot of effort into our videos. And what YouTube is doing, and I don't know if they realize that, because we are independent contractors, basically. We channel creators. And so we come in and we're putting all this work and this effort into our videos, and if we can't get monetized, if we can't earn money off of what we're doing, but YouTube is earning money, it's basically using us as slave labor to get their money. And I know that YouTube doesn't think of it that way, maybe, but logically, if you're putting all this work in and you're spending your whole, some people, they do this is their entire life is producing videos for YouTube, like J House Vlogs. He is a lawyer that he doesn't practice anymore because now he YouTubes full time, and so he gets his income from YouTube. Well, if he loses his income from YouTube, he's not going to be able to do the vlogs full time. And so, so that's a big problem. And people like me, I want to be able to do like 3 or 4 videos a week. But if I'm going to be spending a couple of hours preparing and then doing a video, which may be anywhere from 5 or 6 minutes up to 20 minutes long, and sharing what I'm doing in my life, that's a good chunk out of my life. That's a good chunk out of my day. And a lot of days I don't necessarily have the energy to put into a major effort. It's all I can do. So if I start gaining a lot of followers, like some of you have, and I get to that 1,000 subs and views and 4,000 hours of viewing, to where I would be monetized, and yet YouTube doesn't want to monetize me because I'm that mixed audience, or they want to say, they don't want to monetize the adult videos, and the ones that are kid-friendly or attracted, geared towards kids, they're taking 90% of their income away. Isn't that like making us slave labor? It's just logic to me. And a lot of big companies are doing things like that. They're making the employees work longer hours and harder for less money. And the big bosses at the top are getting rich off of the labor of their employees. And then some of them are going to having robots, because robots, the fully automated stores and what have you, doesn't have to have anybody on the payroll they don't have the clerks there. They've got this self-service checkout. They've got at McDonald's, a lot of places have got the self-service, and it's fully automated. And the only employees they actually have is somebody that's manning the fry vats and what have you. And if they get that fully automated, then the only person they have to employ is the manager. So, and so they're saving a lot of money on employees, but then they're raking in tons and tons and tons of income. And what does that do for people that are actually trying to earn a living? So, I think that YouTube has not really considered the ramifications of what they're doing. And that if they keep going the way they're going, not only are they going to run afoul of Coca, they're going to run afoul of all those creators, and pretty soon they're going to lose their whole business. Because when people start realizing this, they're not going to want to put up with it. And they'll go somewhere where they can, like Patreon, where you can actually get your, you can actually be paid for your work. So, we're going to see how this goes. But my Patreon page, patreon.com/capital P, capital N, capital HAND, lowercase, capital R, is Patricia Norwood's Hobbies and Reborns. And you can type in Patricia Norwood's Hobbies and Reborns on the search and it would probably come up with. But I will have the link below. Also, my email is in the description below. NorwoodPatricia48@gmail.com. Y'all have a good day now. Love y'all. Bye-bye.